You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level. Welcome back to Business Talk Radio. Eric Sarver here is on the line, attorney at law from the law offices of Eric M. Sarver. Again, that's based out of New York City, sarver-law.com. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Doing fine, Jill. Thank you.
All right, great. So you've been practicing law for over, 21 years?
Yes, hard to believe when I say it out loud. Mm-hmm.
And your company deals with the labor and employment laws. We just spoke a little bit about how things have changed and obviously how been difficult it's been for so many people with COVID. Any other area of expertise you want to, give our listeners some advice on today about your services?
Sure, certainly. Well, I'm glad you mentioned COVID-19 because it definitely really has been a game changer for businesses, and I know that a lot of people out there are very anxious about their reopening, what's going to happen. So I hope what I said was maybe helpful to them in terms of knowing that there's help out there, there's professional assistance from attorneys like myself who can guide them through this difficult time. I would also say that there are a lot of other areas that I really advise clients on and help clients with, and that would include, for example, the issue of what do you do when you receive a notice or a letter from the New York State Department of Labor that says they want to either investigate your company or audit you, or there's a claim of some kind of money that's supposedly owed by you. How do you handle that? And so I often encourage clients when they get these letters I encourage them to definitely reach out to me if they need some assistance. But I've seen businesses try to handle these matters, Jill, on their own at first. And then when things tend to not go so well, they reach out to an attorney for help. And so I think one thing I would impart upon the listeners out there, people that are listening to the show, would just be the importance of nipping problems in the bud. So, because let's face it, I think as human beings, we all have this tendency when faced with a stressful situation, and definitely getting a demand letter or a Department of Labor investigation letter or a lawsuit served on you is stressful. People tend to want to ignore it, block it out, hope it goes away, or they want to jump in and tackle it all at once. And so I've had clients that have tried to negotiate with the Department of Labor on their own, and they made the mistake maybe of giving way too many documents to the Department of Labor, or perhaps not explaining the situation the proper way, and they end up doing more harm than good for themselves. So I always recommend that clients reach out for help when you get a notice or an inquiry. And I also like to just convey to my clients what I do in terms of, sure, I do defense work. So if you're actually in the hot water right now in the thick of things and you need assistance, I can certainly help and defend companies and business owners. But I think it's important for people to know that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, as the saying goes. So it's good to nip things, like I said, in the bud when they happen. And it's also important to treat your business the way that it deserves to be treated, meaning don't settle for cheap knockoffs in any area. So if you, as a business owner, need an employee handbook or you need a contract, I've seen too many companies, Jill, make the mistake of, I call it information grabbing, right? They go onto Google, and it makes sense to approach it this way. If they think they can save some money, they often will try to, say, Google or download a template of a document, or, for example, a shareholder agreement or something for the LLC. And what happens is they end up with something that doesn't necessarily reflect the most modern laws and changes, or that's not applicable to them in the state that they're in. So I always tell people that when you're looking for legal help or a legal document, think of it as your equipment. If you are a website designer and you need to buy a computer, you don't just buy the cheapest, most random knockoff you can find at a store. You really research it. You try to find the top-of-the-line machine. And same thing if you, let's say, are a dry cleaner. You're not going to just buy the cheapest dry cleaning equipment out there. You're going to look for quality. So I always say the same thing applies to your legal needs, because your legal needs, the legal status, making sure that you're following the laws, and also that you have the right solid, strong contracts in place. Those are really the building blocks and the foundations for a business to run smoothly and successfully. So I often just will encourage people out there to sort of let go of the tendency to rely too much on Google for what we need. And I think we all do it in different ways, in different areas of our life. We see it as a very convenient, quick fix, but ultimately, I don't think that these templates of search engines replace the training and the personal connection that your attorney can provide for you.
Got it. Great information. Also, if you're just tuning in, we're urging everyone to go visit Eric's website, if you can, please. He's based out of New York City, sarverlaw.com, SARVER-LAW.com.